Hello, hello. It's Maggie Soeder sharing with you today. And today we are going to hit on using oils with kids. So this is something that is really, I think, important to know. It's also really fun for me because, of course, I have my three kiddos that I have used oils on and have had lots of experiences with. And so I wanted to share a little bit with you today about ways that you can introduce oils, how to do it safely, and a couple of recommendations for oils that you can use and how to move forward with them. So I think it's a great way to relate to your kids. Now, that may seem something far-fetched. If you've never tried it before, it may seem like, what do you mean that you can relate to your kids? But they really are like this tangible way of, at first, for me anyway, bringing in the emotional component, which I think is really, really interesting and really, really helpful. Of course, the oils have so many benefits, right? So when you're starting with kids, I think it is best to start by using your oils yourself, right? So show the example, set the example. Oh, you're trying this new thing. You're incorporating these natural drops, and how do you use them? And you might see them, you might show them, share with them. You can put them into a roller bottle and apply it topically. You can put them in your diffuser and put it out into the air. You can use your oils in front of them. So that is probably the first way to start, by using and introducing oils to your kids. Then beyond that, then you can start to bring up some curiosity in what it is that you're using, right? And I say start small, so don't overwhelm them. And I think it's important to remember too that their bodies are different than ours, right? We have been exposed to so many smells and scents and exposures just purely by the environments that we have been in, that their palate, if you will, is not quite as large as ours. Their palate for what they have smelled and what they will tolerate smelling, right, is not quite as large as ours. So I think it's really important to introduce small and with something that you think that they will like. So I want to hit on today wild orange as the sort of medium between introducing oils to your kids and then going further from there. Wild orange, I think, is a fantastic oil. Now, it has so many benefits on its own. Of course, it's a mood lifter, which I think is amazing. And it's also great for cleansing, internally, externally. You can use it, and it's super refreshing. So it's wonderful in the diffuser and also great to add to your own cleaners and to help purify your spaces. It's a mood lifter. So when you're using with your kids, a way that you can simply introduce it is by opening the bottle. So now let's say they've had a moment where maybe they fell down and they've scraped a knee or a hand. Maybe they, we told them no. We told them no, they couldn't play with this toy right now, or they had to clean up their toys, or they got bumped by someone at the playground. Something happened, right? A simple way to introduce that is like, oh my gosh, let me get out this oil. It's so helpful and makes me feel so happy. I want to help you and help you feel happier too. And just let them smell it, right? Let them smell it. So simply disrupting, number one, what they were focusing on, but number two, even their smell. So remember, this our sense of smell affects the limbic system, our emotions, which is connected to our emotions, the fastest, right? Olfactory nerve directly hits into the limbic system. So it's give them an experience with something that you think that they will love. So wild orange is a great one. It's friendly for kids. It smells delicious. It's uplifting and bright, right? Let them inhale it. So they can inhale it directly from the bottle. You can put a drop in your hands, or if you have a roller bottle, you can use that, of course, and call it your happy oil. And you could let them roll it on their wrists and apply it directly. So just give them an experience and then let them breathe it in deeply. Encourage them to take those deep breaths, because that is going to be how they start, how they have a first experience, right, by their smell. So getting them acclimated to oils by using them very small, you don't have to use a lot at the beginning, just introduce them. I think that's really a great way to do it. So open the bottle, then so now you've shown them that what you have used, that you use oils yourself, and that how you use them, and then you let them have a little experience. So beyond that, then what else can you do? Of course, you can diffuse it, or you can even start to make a roller bottle something specific for them. Now, of course, doTERRA has the entire kids line, so you could also consider that as an option. And Wild Orange and Brave are closely related. There's Wild Orange in the Brave blend, and it's super, oh, it's a delicious one. And it's not just for kids, right? Of course, everyone can use it, but Wild Orange is such this great little bridge, if you will, between oils, just the oils in the bottle as they are, and the kids line, which is pre-diluted oils. So beyond that, you could start to make them a roller. If you're not using directly the kids lines directly, you can start to make a roller for them, customized for them. So now remember, here I've got a small roller bottle. So this is a 5 milliliter. This is half of the doTERRA size bottles. And when you are diluting, so a standard dilution for yourself, for a grown-up, regular skin is about 50-50. So about half filled with oils, half with carrier oil. With kids, you definitely want to make sure that you are diluting further than that. So depending on their age, a third or even less from there. So the younger they are, the more diluted you want your oil to be. So start with a little roller bottle, maybe even start with just a few drops to introduce something. But that's a great way to introduce it. So then you can start to show them how they can use it. Using it through your emotions, like I said, help you feel better if something happens and you just need to work through those emotions. Or at bedtime, how can it help them calm down? Layering it maybe on the up and down the spine, a little bit of massage, massaging it into your own hands and giving them a little bit of massage. And on the bottoms of the feet is, number one, it's tickly, so it adds a little bit of fun. It can be for some kids, if that's something that you're comfortable with, right? But also it brings in the sense of touch, which I think is super important. And remember, there's bonding in that as well. So bring that in. But what you can do then is use Wild Orange as this bridge between all of the oils. Now, maybe not all of them, but so many of them. So it pairs well with lavender. So if you wanted to introduce lavender for sleep, right, you could simply pair it with Wild Orange. Bring in these other new scents through the bridge of Wild Orange. Peppermint or digestin, it pairs very well with, so that would be a great way if your child has upset tummy. You could start to bring in those oils and put them in a blend together. Of course, you could do it in a roller bottle, or make your own roller bottle. These are super handy. Or you can do it, blend it directly in the hand. So just remember, always dilute with kids and dilute further than you would for yourself. So 1 drop of oil to 3 drops of carrier oil would be a great way to start. And of course, that's like 3 to 8-year-olds, and then even more diluted for kids younger than that. Okay, so it pairs well with lavender for sleep. It pairs well with peppermint or digestin for upset tummies and feeling yucky or nauseous, even in the car. Like traveling, if you have a car sick, someone who's prone to car sickness, that is another way that you can introduce them, and you can even get a car diffuser. It would pair well with something like frankincense for calming down if lavender was maybe not your favorite, or you just had the two together, or for some occasional tensions and things that come up. Even our kids get headaches, right? Our kids get body aches and that kind of stuff. So frankincense is a great pairing, and introducing Wild Orange with that, and plus it smells good in the diffuser. It's also a great way to introduce frankincense to your house, right? If that is a smell that you love, but you know maybe that your kids don't have the same affinity for it up front, you could start to introduce it in the diffuser that way. And also, it would be a great pairing with On Guard. So again, when we're looking for that immune support, we want to brighten up the space with that Wild Orange, but then get in some immune support by adding in a drop or 2 of that On Guard as well. So those are just a couple of ways that you can start to introduce the oils. and how let wild orange be that bridge with your kids. Fractionated coconut oil is what I absolutely recommend for diluting. So when you are creating your own roller blends or when you are applying directly topically to the skin, fractionated coconut oil is really easy to use. There's no scent. It's very light and it absorbs quickly. So once you massage it in, it absorbs quickly and doesn't leave a lot of residue. You can, of course, use something else that you have already in the house, like a jojoba oil maybe, even grapeseed oil, even olive oil if you had to go that far. It's a little bit thicker and definitely has a little bit of scent to it. But you want to make sure that you are diluting. And if your child would have any sensitivity at all, remember, start small. Start small with your oils for sure when you're using them topically. And then you can see if they have any kind of reaction topically as on their skin. And anyway, but if they did have some sort of reaction, dilute it even further. So do not apply water because that's going to drive it in a little further and it does not dilute the oil itself. So you want to make sure that you are diluting with a carrier oil, and then you should be good to go with using topically for your kids. So that, I think, is a great way to start introducing oils to your kids. Then wild orange is also it can be a bridge. So yes, we're talking about the oils and topical use there, but it can be a bridge to introducing our kids' line of supplements, which is another really, really helpful tool. Remember, of course, our standard American diet is not what it used to be. The quality of soil and even what we are getting from the grocery store is not what it used to be either. So bringing in a supplement to provide some of those whole food nutrients and the omegas into their diet is going to be really, really helpful and supportive. But the wild orange itself is also part of our omega for kids. So it's, again, introducing that bridge. So start introducing that as a way to introduce the supplements to your child. So I think wild orange is really handy, but biggest things to remember when using your oils with kids, start small, start by example, let them see you use it, and then have a really direct interaction with them. Let them start to feel how you would incorporate them and use them emotionally. I think that's a great way to support, and then you can start to introduce them in all the ways. And then dilute, dilute, dilute. So of course we're going to dilute. It helps maximize absorption and reduces any possibilities of sensitization. So dilute your oils, but dilute them even further for your kids, and especially the younger they are. Another thing that you can do if you are out and about and you carry your oils with you, I know I love to carry mine with me, especially peppermint, On Guard, sprays, the hand spray, TerraShield, lavender, always good to have on hand. What you can do is make a roller bottle that is just carrier oil. So the only thing in it would be a carrier oil. Then you can apply this topically and then use whatever essential oil you need for your child. So then you could still use the same oil for you and your child, but you would dilute even further. Or again, if it's an oil that's already diluted, but you know you want it diluted further for your kids, apply the carrier oil first, and then that will further dilute a roller bottle already. So those are some great tips for using the oils with your kids. Definitely start small, but it is a wonderful way to start introducing natural living to your kids. And imagine if you start with your kids from day one using natural products, what their world will be like. Way less exposure to toxins, and natural living will become their way of life. What a wonderful gift to give to your kids. And I certainly see it that way. I hope you will too. Please reach out if you have any questions. I'd love to hear, have you used them with your own kids yet? What have you used them for, and what are your kids' favorites? All right, have a great one.